All right, so we have Kenny, who's a sophomore from TSU at TSU. We're currently serves as a marketing chair for SGA. Nice to meet you. My name is Dalvin Dunn. I'll do furthermore introductions once we get some more people in here. Hey, let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know that. All good on my side. All right. So how's everyone enjoying the conference? The guest speaker was really great. Like especially at the end when she mentioned that you understand my glory because you don't understand my story. That is definitely a caption right there. Definitely a caption. I can't see. So I'm gonna give it about 5 more minutes for people to come on in, and then we'll start at let's say 1:40. So I don't want to hold you off too much from the other presentations and stuff. All right, so those that are just coming in, my name is Dalvin Dunn. I'm gonna start at approximately 1:40 to allow more people to come in, and then I'll get started. So I guess I'm not gonna be able to see you all during the presentation, but that's fine too. All right, we'll be starting in 2 more minutes, okay? And please let me know if you can hear me or not, because I'm going to be doing a PowerPoint, so I don't know if you'll be able to see me or if you'll be able to hear me. So let me know if you can hear me now. And if you can't, we can find production and make sure that you can be able to hear what the presentation will be about. All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, thank you, Ms. Thompson. All right. So I'm about to transition into the PowerPoint. So I don't know if you'll be able to see my face, but you should be able to see the PowerPoint though. All right. Oh, we could do it like this. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so it's 1:40. So I will be starting the presentation. Thank you all again for coming to my session pretty much for the Tennessee State University Student Leader Institute. My name is Dalvin Dunn. I'll give you a brief bio about me later on within the PowerPoint. But this presentation will pretty much be about how to manage your money as far as financial aid and refunds and stuff. Geared to the title, borrowing student loans or are student loans borrowing you? Reason for the title is actually because if you think about it, it takes you approximately probably 1 day to apply for a student loan, as well as probably up to a week to actually have it granted to your account to where it can pay for your tuition and fees. However, it takes you 2 weeks to get your student loans, but it can take you up to 20 plus 30 years to actually pay it off. So who's borrowing who? Which again brings the presentation that I have forward. So again, are you borrowing student loans or are student loans borrowing you? So a brief bio about me. I'm from Texarkana, Texas. Though it's located in North Texas it's located in Northeast Texas. It's in Arkansas as well, granted the name Texarkana. I graduated from my local community college, Texarkana College, with an associate's degree in criminal justice administration. Later, I transferred to the best HBCU, in my opinion, excuse my bias, Prairie View A&M University, where I graduated with my bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a specialization in juvenile justice. Then later, as recent, spring 2020, I graduated from Texas Women's University with my master's degree in business administration with an emphasis in human resource. And currently, I work at Lone Star College System Office as a communication coordinator too. I've been blessed to be part of the Lone Star family for going on 3 years, and I do plan on staying furthermore unless God directs me somewhere else. So, what would a student learn? What would the students learn in this presentation? Students will learn the pros and cons of student loans, different types of loans, how to budget the amount requested, and how to properly use your refund. Which also, I believe, geared towards being a leader, because you could be a leader as powerful as Martin Luther King Jr. and is as vicious as Malcolm X. But if you manage your money like Mercedes mom off of P Valley, you won't have none, and you'll be in extreme debt, and you will not be able to succeed in the goals that you have planned for yourself. So here are leadership qualities. Some of the terminologies that you see on screen, you probably have already heard about or even previously known prior to the institute of what these words means and how they pretty much emphasize your type of like leadership. The reason I picked some of these words was because the same way that you can become a leader, the same way that you can become a financial leader as well. I believe if to be a great leader, you have to be great in all aspects. And as we previously seen within our economy and even society, people that are guarded with the financial responsibility have not mastered the right techniques as far in also qualities to even become a financial leader. So, what is the student loan debt amount? So right now you can post in the comments about how much you think the student loan debt is currently now. I'll give you about 2 minutes to do so. So currently, for those that have just came in, I asked a question of how much do you think the student loan debt in the United States of America is currently? You could post it in the comments, and then we'll just see who was the closest. And you got about 2 minutes. $157,750. Miss Charles, that's about how much I know one person has right now. Honestly. 1 million. Okay. Sad, but yeah, okay, I get you. The 1 million. Any more guesses? 35. 350,000. Ooh. I feel sad for anybody to have that personal amount of debt right there. Gosh, that's a whole house. Okay, so looking at all you all's answers, some of you all have like six-figure and even seven-figure debt. So currently, the debt in the United States is 24 billion as of 1990 and 1991. Currently, the debt for 2020, I mean, as of 2020, is $1.57 trillion. And that's averaged between 300K students, either current students or former students. That's a lot of money right there. Like, so student loan forgiveness is looking kind of shaky right there, especially if it's that amount. Pros and cons of student loans. So here are the pros and cons of student loans. We'll start with the pros. Makes it the pros of student loans is it makes higher education obtainable for those that do not have funds otherwise. If you think about it, student loan can in a good way be a good way for a student to actually gain access into higher ed, because as we all know, the cost of higher ed has extremely increased in the past 30 to 40 years, from 1970 being the lowest cost tuition being $400 for 15 hours to now raising up to four to 5K for just 15 hours now. As well as a college degree is always required for a successful career. That model has slightly changed currently because not many people have college degrees that are now deemed successful. However you deem success will always depend on if a college degree is necessary or not. Taking back, in the state of Texas, we have this initiative called the 3060. So by 2030, we assume, or we are pushing for 60% of citizens in the state of Texas to have at least an associate's degree or something higher. And lastly, a perfect opportunity to build up your credit history. Now, as some of you all know, you may not have prior credit history, such as having a credit card, having a bill in your name, or car note, or etc. However, student loans can actually build up your credit to where you can obtain either a house and a car, or pretty much have a low interest rate whenever you do need to borrow money. However, the cons are the burden of debt along with the interest rate. Many people do not know that besides paying for the loan, you're actually paying the interest rate as well. And when you are currently paying student loans back, you're actually just paying the interest. That's why the principal balance never changes, but the interest is slightly decreasing. Secondly, increased financial um, difficulties if the responsibility of paying them off is not taken seriously. So, as we all know, we probably know a family member or a close friend that have student loans but are not paying for it. So that means that possibly their checks are getting garnished, their taxes are not being given to them. Instead, it's going to pay off their student loan debt. And we know people that are not financially responsible to handle the business that they have taken on. So that's a second reason. And third reason, the penalties for defaulting on some student loans include adding fees, adding interest, and wage garnishments. So the further along you push your student loans back and not paying and not actually making a payment on them, whether it's small or big, the more it is occurring. And what you do not want is to you become in your elder age and your debt is passed on to your family. Because either way, Sally Mae is going to get her money, whether it is from you or it's from your great great grandkids. So different types of loans. We have direct sub loans and direct unsub. The difference between the two are for the direct subsidized loans. When you are in school, um, you do not have to pay for the interest. The Department of Ed is actually paying for your interest as long as you are above halftime for the first 6 months after you leave school. So that means that is your grace period, whether you are graduating or you are taking a break. That first 6 months after you are not enrolled in school anymore, you have a grace period where, again, the interest is not occurring. The U.S. Department of Education is still paying for it. And during a period of deferment, a postponement of loan payments, which is currently happening right now during the pandemic of COVID, sadly. So right now, many borrowers are not experiencing an increase in their interest rates because it's being deferred due to again COVID. Versus direct unsubsidized loans. So direct unsubsidized loans are available to undergraduate and grad students. There's no requirement to demonstrate financial need. So currently, if you do not have enough funds, whether it's from a Pell Grant, any type of free money, a direct unsub may be the only route that you get compared to the direct sub that's based off of need. Your school determines the amount you can borrow based on the cost of attendance and other financial aid you will receive. So when it comes to direct unsub, if you ever looked at the average, I mean not the average, if you ever looked at the chart at Tennessee State University and the average cost of tuition, as you probably already know now, that's probably not the cost that you're paying. In fact, it may be low, and in some cases it may be higher. When it comes to the direct unsub, you can borrow up to the cost of attendance. You're responsible for paying the interest on your direct unsub loan during all periods, meaning that once your direct unsub hits your account to pay for your balance at Tennessee State, the interest will start occurring from probably your freshman year to your senior year. If you choose not to pay the interest while you are in school during the grace period, in deferment, or forbearance period, your interest will occur and be capitalized. Is your interest will be added to your principal amount. So on top of paying your principal amount, if you're not watching your interest rate and not paying for it after you graduate, or if you want to now, you can. It will be added to your principal, and then the interest rate will just keep on increasing. So right here we have the breakdown of the federal student loans versus private student loans. Private student loans are loans that are from banks. Now, to obtain a loan through a bank is going to be different from how you will from through will be different from how you will obtain a student loan from FAFSA. So as you can see, I'm in the chart. I won't go through all of them, but just a few. FAFSA required required to apply. As you see, the federal student loans you must apply for FAFSA. For a private student loan, you do not. Considering credit history, FAFSA does not take into consideration your credit history when making the determination for whether you are eligible for a federal student loan, whether again an unsub or a sub loan. Private student loans do because again it goes through a bank, meaning that the bank will look at your current history. And sometimes if you're not a member of that particular bank, they may do further like credit history, not just the last year, but 5 or 10 plus years. Co-signers may increase chances of approval. Again, with the FAFSA, you do not need a co-signer to be approved for a loan. However, for a private student loan, you will, to pretty much make sure that not only you, but not only if you can be approved, but if your co-signer can, then it can increase your chances of being approved. And allows changes in repayment plans after borrowing. That's the big takeaway from this slide. When you are making the decision to take out a loan, try to take it out of FAFSA, because if you can make arrangements on your payment plan compared to a bank. Because sometimes with obtaining a loan from a bank, you may be obligated to pay it as soon as next month that you obtain it. Some banks like Wells Fargo, they're changing their initiative to actually try to combat that and actually be similar to FAFSA. However, many banks are not on the wave yet. How to properly use your refund. What to do with your student refund check. My favorite one is the first one: give it back. If you do not need to use the refund for anything as far as food, rent, like anything that can contribute to your education experience, then just simply give it back. You can give your loan back after it pays for your tuition. How to do that? You will just have to contact your financial aid and they'll give you the proper steps for it. Second bulletin: only accept what you need. As a former financial aid specialist, I can tell you that I've seen a lot of students with loan amounts as far as like the refund checks be astronomical. Like I can remember a student receiving a 75,000, no, a 7,500 check as like a refund. Haven't seen that girl since. Pretty much just accept what you need to pay for your tuition and fees and room and board, because you don't want to end up graduating from a 4-year university with over 6K loans, especially if you are considering going for grad school or professional school. Hold the money in your account. As a former college student, I know it's going to be hard to hold money in your account, especially when homecoming, which is supposed to be like next month, the COVID canceled that, and any sporting or any events on campus that you want to partake in, and you need to get a new outfit, new pair, new shoes, new everything. Trust me, I understand. But hold the money in your account, because you don't know when the rainy days may come. Sometimes it'll sneak up on you. Sometimes it'll come the day after you done spent it all, or spent a fraction of it. Also, spend your refund check on your books and school supplies. I remember my professor at Prairie View, he knew, surprisingly, when the refund day was, and he specifically said, the next time we meet, I expect they want to have a book, because refunds drop tomorrow, but half of y'all are still gonna come to my class with the latest Chanel, the latest bundles, the new Jordans, all these expensive, lavish stuff that will not even get you an A, if not a D in my class. Also, spending on transportation. If you have enough and you and your guardian or parent has had discussed about buying a car with leftover money, do that. However, if you stay off campus, you may want to put some money aside to where you can Uber or ride the bus, or do something financially smart to make sure that you're able to attend your classes and arrive home safely. And then spending on living expenses. Again, living expenses do not consider is not considered clothes, like entertainment. Living expenses is what it is. Um, Food, gas for your car. If you have to pay bills like for a cell phone bill, having that, making sure that your refund is going to help you continue to be great in school and make sure that you are focused in school. How to budget what you request. So this little dandy bulletin is what I call a fixed asset. A fixed asset is pretty much it's an estimate that you pay per bulletin. However, it rarely changes. So again, for housing typically is just at one price per month, as well as books may vary depending on how many hours and what subjects you plan on taking. Utilities such as water, gas, electric, those may vary, but not too often. Transportation, like I mentioned in my previous slide. If you plan to Uber or plan to ride the bus, you could fix that into your budget. That would be standard. And again, savings. Savings is highly important in college. Trust me, if I could go back to college, I would save. because once you receive that last refund check, your last semester as like an undergraduate, you're gonna miss it every year until then. Now for the variable assets, such as groceries, dining out, childcare, entertainment, medical or health, clothing and laundry. The reason that these are variables because this varies. Like sometimes you can overstock on groceries. Like sometimes Kroger or Walmart may have a sale on some items that you enjoy. May lower your price or how much you spend per month on groceries, as well as dining out, childcare for my students that who are also parents. Entertainment varies. Medical and health. Sometimes, if you work as a part time or working full time, your job may offer you free health benefits. So that will again fluctuate. Clothes. Be smart. Do not overspend for clothes, but again, that's also considered variable. And then laundry. On the laundry mat, if you have a set schedule that you wash every week or bi-weekly, I did bi-weekly because I did not want to spend too much money just on clothes, but I made sure that my clothing was enough. So pretty much for this slide, just make sure that you are holding yourself accountable for how much you would spend per bulletin. So what we have next is what I call an assignment called reality check. If you can, please get a piece of paper, something, it can be like just a sheet of paper, and we're gonna do this thing called like a reality check. So with this piece of paper, I would like for you to write down the following items on the piece of paper, such as food, utility bill, insurance, transportation, miscellaneous. It can be as far as like streaming services, um, gas, savings, and etc. Car note and pocket money. Once you write these items down, if you do currently pay for all these things or you just want to play around with it, just plug in some numbers that are either accurate or you plan on being accurate once you graduate. I'll give y'all about like 3 to 4 minutes to do so before I proceed to the next slide. Okay, so hopefully you all have written the following items down: food, utility bill, insurance, transportation, miscellaneous, car note, and pocket money. If you're just joining again, please just get a piece of paper, write down the following terms, and write a value by them that either you know that you pay currently or you plan to pay currently once you graduate college. All right, we're about to go to the next slide, okay? So I took the liberty of doing some research in the cities that you see, such as Dallas, Texas, Columbia, South Carolina, San Diego, California, and Henderson, Nevada. These are the top cities that millennials move to after graduating. The salaries that you see are the average salaries per city currently in 2020. And also the living arrangement, this is based off of one bedroom. This is how much an average person pays for a one-bedroom apartment within those cities. So the assignment that I would have you all do is pick a city. Regard, it could be it could be any city on the list from California, Tennessee, Oregon, and Texas. Within once you pick the city, look at the salary look at the average salary within the city. So for example, I'm gonna go with Portland, Oregon. The salary is 36,492, and the rent for a one-bedroom apartment is 1,453. Now, just 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 plug that number in to your rent, and then just add up all of the amount that you have currently, and see if your current salary within that city can you live off of that salary. Is a salary big enough for you to live off of? If it's too small, would you have to get a part-time job or move to a different city? Um, and also, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, the tax percentages. So the salaries that you see are actually supposed to be higher, but due to taxes, as we all know, if you make between 9,700 and 39,000, you'll have a 12% tax percentage cut. If you make 39,476 and up, it's a 22% cut. So once you pick your city and your salary and your living arrangements, add all those figures together, and then post your total amount within the comments. All right, so I don't see no comments really. So it's showing me that you are probably figuring out that okay, I need to either increase my salary by moving to a different city or possibly lower my expenses. All right. So if you have not by chance completed the quick assignment, no rush. I'm gonna proceed on further. But for those that have completed it, have you seen how much your possible lifestyle will cost? And is it worth it at the end? Because again, one of the qualities of being a leader is actually being accountable and being responsible. If you can't manage your own finances, how can you plan to manage a corporation or firm or a nonprofit or any entity that if you were to not be responsible, you could either lose your job, have charges against you, or anything like that. That's why this PowerPoint is so important, I believe, to leaders is to make sure that you are financially handling your own personal business. So then once you do take lead on a project or or anything of that magnitude, you feel confident. Because if you ever think about it, majority of people that are not very financially responsible, it shows within their own personal life. Because again, we all know people, whether again a friend or family, that does not manage money well and overcompensate to impress or to not feel left out. So yeah. But again, I'm gonna proceed on with the PowerPoint. You do not have to finish it right now, but you can finish it later and post your comments throughout the presentation. But right now, do you have any questions or answers for me regarding the presentation, financial aid, or just in general as well? You can post them again in the comments. Okay, well, since there are no questions currently, thank you for attending my presentation called Student Loans, are you borrowing student loans or are student loans borrowing you? You can follow me on LinkedIn at Dalvin Dunn. I will be glad to help you in any assistance I can regarding financial aid if you plan on going for further your grad studies or anything to that magnitude. Again, LinkedIn at Dalvin Dunn. The next slide is actually scholarships. Um, Trust me, I understand that being an undergraduate and not knowing the proper channels to look at regarding free money. So here are some links that I found very popular when it came to scholarships, such as fastweb.com, Mitch.com, and scholarships.com. They have a wide variety of scholarships that can cater to you from if you live in a certain region, if you're left-handed, if you wear a size 12 in shoes or any of those special characteristics within yourself, someone could possibly have some free money out there for you to help you further your dreams and possible even career. As well as the end, this is my works cited page. Some of you already know about works cited. I researched practically everything that I use within a PowerPoint. Here are my works cited pages. And yeah. So again, I want to thank you all for attending my presentation. This is actually my first time presenting outside of my employer and even my previous institution that I graduated from. I do wish you all the best, HBCU grads, to the next generation of HBCU leaders. Do make your mark because you do want to graduate and come back and see the impact that you made not only on your classmates and organizations, but as well as the next generation of leaders to come after you. Trust me, it's highly important to become a great leader because you never know who's watching. Because you'll be surprised at how many people will know you from what you do rather than who you are. And I leave the little wisdom for you that my grandma told me when I was 10. Um, do not miss do not miss the forest because you cannot look beyond the tree. In college, you will have some L's. It's okay to take them, experience them, because you're in college. This is the only place before you get into the real world that you're allowed to make additional mistakes without harsh judgment on you. And don't ponder on those L's too long either, because again, you have you have a plethora of opportunities just waiting for you if you look beyond that one L and see all the wins that you will have in the future. So again, you can follow me on Dalvin Dunn at Dalvin Dunn at LinkedIn, and please enjoy the rest of the conference. I'm going to see if there's any more sessions open, and I wish you all again the best of luck. Okay, you have a nice day, and I hope to see you all doing wonderful things. Because again, HBCUs matter, and you're a reflection of your HBCU. Good day.